I decided to go live with you all this way since we haven't done this for a little bit. I got some food in the grill here. So I got some channel updates to talk about. Beep, 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 beep. I got some channel updates to talk about. And a couple other things, obviously, with the channel. So, heading into November now, like we're well into November, but you know, this is long overdue, but this is going to be like sort of tail end of November, you know, maybe heading into December. So as far as channel is concerned, I am going to be doing more of these, you know, sort of relaxed streams where, we just have, you know, awesome video game music, sounds, and things like that. People can relax to just chill, maybe fall asleep. I call them relax streams, not sleep streams, because other people, they, you know, might want to do sleep streams or something like that, and that's cool. I'm cool with that. I just, with a sleep stream, I don't call it that because that implies I'm sleeping on a camera, and I'm not doing that. So this is more along the lines of you're gonna maybe relax to this and sleep to this, and so I really do try to mix it up. I don't try to just do the same thing the entire stream. Sometimes I do that, but I would really rather just do a variety, you know, and mix it up a bit for you guys too. As far as, you know, the other content's concerned, actual gaming content and stuff like that. So I would love to continue down the road what we have been doing. We have not finished, we still have not finished Metal Gear Solid, and you know, obviously I really want to do that. I enjoy playing it, so we want to do that. We want to get on to Snake Eater, and also move forward with some of the other things we're doing too. I want to finish the Sims house that we're playing. As far as like playing competitive games and stuff like that, I might for now start doing like things like that where I do them as uploads, so that way we can just basically, I just want to start doing content that you guys want to see, because for the longest time, you know, I did have that sort of back and forth with the audience telling me, well, we like your long form content and stuff like that, and I like making it, but that doesn't mean that needs to be everything. And I also want to do more of you know, more videos like this too, where we're doing in real life stuff, and I can interact with you guys a bit more, you know, in nature and outside. The problem is that we're going into the cold season, so you know, with doing stuff outside, it just changes things a bit. You know, we don't want to be getting sick and stuff. So yeah, obviously we're gonna be definitely playing more games and stuff. But I am working out every day. Like I said, I am. My legs are tired. I'm stretching all the time, and this is it. Like because I'm working out and doing my training again just every day, I am. Yeah, like it's. You gotta go through it again, and I'm going through it again, and yeah, like that's just it. I'm tired. I'm worn out all the time, and so like that's just it. You guys probably are like, man, he just looks tired, just like, and all that. Yeah, I'm tired because I am training all the time again. So what is that leading to? That is leading to more martial arts content. That's leading to, you know, me getting back into, you know, that peak shape that I was in, and it's just going to take longer the older you get. So, you stop doing it, you have to get back to a certain point. So, I'm getting back to that point, and, it's taking longer than it took last time. Last time it's the sort of thing where I just went right back into it, and within a few months, I was just like right back to the way I was. No problem. All flexibility has come back. As you get older, really, it's that's what it comes down to is getting that flexibility back, because flexibility is strength. And so getting that flexibility back to resume proper muscle memory is very important. You can't, if this is something that you are confident with and then you want to come back to, part of the problem is when you come back to it, you're going to start doing things incorrectly and wrong if you just assume you can start doing them the way that you used to and you haven't touched it in X amount of time. What'll happen is you'll actually go and to do it, and the muscle memory might kick in the first few times, but now you start getting a little bit confused. So throughout the history of like teaching martial arts, all the years I spent doing that, what I've learned is that I just need to make sure that my flexibility and my stamina, my physical endurance is just way elevated before I start doing some of the stuff that I was doing toward the end of like my training, some of the stuff that's like really top level stuff, and just sort of put myself back through the training game like a crash course again. And that's what I've discovered works the best, if you've put it down for a while and you have to come back to it, because you're just gonna it's the sort of thing where you're not flexible enough, you're not strong enough to do those things that you were doing because you were doing them all the time at the training, you were doing them at the level you were doing them, and now you're not, and you haven't for X amount of time. So if you want to do that, you have to put that extra effort back into it again. You can't just expect, it's I'm just gonna. No, it's like riding a bike. It really is. When you ride a bike, it's sort of like you stop doing it. That's what everybody says, like riding a bike. You sort of stop doing it, but the thing that everybody doesn't say about that is just that when you start going back to that bike, you really do realize that, like, when you were riding it all the time, you had those muscle groups. You just had them already built up. And there was things that maybe you took for granted once you started, like, sort of just riding all the time and riding really far and stuff like that. And then you stop doing it and you go back to do it and you're like, man, like, things are just a little different now. And so you really have to really put the extra effort into it to get back to that shape again, where when you're riding that bike, it felt just like it did way back. Because you're not as young as you used to be. Time does not suddenly, reverse that course for you. And just so it'll be a little bit different. So anyway, we'll definitely be getting into the new martial arts content that I'll be making for you guys. But, it's the sort of thing where, like I said, we're heading into the cold season. I do a lot of that stuff outside. So yeah, we're going to be doing it sporadically. It's not going to not happen. It will be sporadic, and it's going to be the sort of thing where I'm going to have to plan it in between training sessions, and basically until I'm at the point where, I was at the end of, basically where I was closing my studio and stuff like that, where I was training all the time, teaching all the time, until I'm at that endurance level again. I really don't want to be doing regular, like videos and stuff like that. I want to get up to that point. So, the knowledge hasn't left me. It's still there. It's not like I haven't taught over the years, and it's not like, I haven't kept up doing it. It's just obviously I'm, on the stream with you guys playing games, and, that's a little bit different. Yeah, just a little bit different. So, moving forward with that, like I said, when we get members and we get the numbers up, for sure we're going to be doing member only streams where we actually talk about and maybe take requests from people, actual questions, like what would, like let's say you're doing that technique, what would you do if like, this happened or something like that? Then I'd be like, well, then you do this, and I can actually like, talk to you guys about that stuff and give you follow-ups. I want to do like real Q&As and stuff like that with the member streams where, it's we really do get into more of the actual practical application of the martial arts instead of me sort of just demonstrating it as something in a short. And the whole purpose of that is to then eventually promote that content and promote the fact that we're, showing, this Chinese self-defense, this kung fu, that it's applicable and usable. And I just want to spread, good Chinese martial arts in the sense that it's out there. It's out there, but just recognize it, So that's what we're doing with that. And I want to talk about that a lot too, that's why I said I always wanted to maybe break down some martial arts fight scenes in actual movies and stuff, because a lot of these Chinese martial artists, the kung fu guys, you really don't see them doing sport martial art. And I can get into that a little bit, but we really need to get into that more in the member streams, because it's the sort of thing where you just can't, there's certain stuff you really don't want to be talking about when like everybody can see it and stuff like that. I even did a test in a comment to see what would happen. So basically it was like the sort of thing where like a troll was talking about UFC guys or something like that, and basically I just gave my brutal, blunt answer to this guy of why it's completely ridiculous, to even suggest that they're better or something like that in an actual fight that has to do with warfare, where it's mano a mano, and we're talking about life or death situations versus just a sport fight. We're talking about something that was developed on warfare. You can trace it back to, thousands of years ago, actually. And the thing is, that the funny thing about this is that, it's not funny. It really is just brutal stuff that you can't really talk about. And that's the reality of it, is just like the way these guys think and the way you think as this type of a martial artist is, it's to defend yourself and your soldiers, and to just, it's like when we broke down that Ip Man fight scene and he finally just didn't care anymore. That's the point, is like, if you actually got a Chinese martial artist that knows what he's doing, doesn't care anymore, against a whole bunch of people, he's gonna start doing stuff that you can't do in sport. I can't even say it. That's the point. At the moment I followed up with that in a comment, the comment got reported. It kept getting reported. It was the thing it was talking about. And it was just ridiculous. So that's the point, is it's a subject matter that is pretty brutal and pretty, it's these movies are rated R when you watch them, so it's not for sport. It's really not. it's real. It's real. And it's the stuff, if I'm sure the military would love to have some of my knowledge. Actually, the guy I trained with through the regs, it's interesting. After he decided to stop being a martial arts instructor, I think he may have actually gone into the military and started teaching a little bit. And that's the point, is honestly, this is what that would be for. It's not I can teach it normally, because that's the point, is you can break it down. A good instructor can. But the reality, that's, someone would compare that type of a martial art to UFC. It's just or even MMA. There's just zero comparison. You're just talking about a guy that gets really big and gets really good at punching. Okay, yeah, like you're gonna beat most people then, because most people don't know how to punch, and most people aren't super big, and most people don't understand or have the skill sets required to fight somebody bigger than them, which, by the way, is very hard to do. So, let's see here. We got Suffice. Hey man, hey, I see a hey dude in there. What's up, man? Good to see you. Yeah, I try to make it so that I can't see chat too much when I'm driving. Typically just like keep it so dim or face the other way so I can't see it. You got a train glitch? Oh man, maybe you can find the fix and get a whole bunch of views for that. You're good at that, man. Okay, drive it. I wonder if Red Dead actually works for me. Like I said, I mean, you saw it the one day. I sat there and installed the whole thing. I owned it on Steam, and then I go to launch it, and it's like, boom, nah. Yeah, I don't get that. I even played it before, like way back when it first came out, but like I didn't play it that much. Like I said, I love Red Dead. I think it's good. Everything I've seen from it, I love. But I haven't played it very long because it was the sort of thing where it was making me shoot wolves. And I was like, I don't really want to shoot wolves. I'm going to come back to this game. Yeah, I'm going to just come back to it like way later or something like that. And I obviously eventually was like, all right, let's go back to this. I do this sometimes. I have a pretty massive like library of games, and I'll come back to them sporadically. I think that's what like keeps me being a gamer, honestly, is the fact that by the way, the guy the guy in the Audi behind me cannot keep his distance, by the way. This whole time I've been talking. Anyway, yeah, so this is what probably kept me as a gamer, because like I have all these like this massive library of games that I can just sort of sporadically go back to and re-explore, and it's like, you know, it's like a whole new game to me, and other people have played it, and I'm like, well, I've never played this, but I have, you know. So that's probably what keeps me coming back, is just, you know, all those games that I have that I still haven't really gotten a chance to play much of yet. Like Marble It Up. You guys saw me playing that. Yeah, it's well, it's the sort of thing where like I spent years working like job after job after job, and what I would do is grab a game that was like 99 cents on Steam. You know, like the Steam sales are incredible. Or I'd grab a free game off Epic for the free game selection there. It really was just the fact that I was grabbing a lot of the stuff on sale. So, you know, like a Steam sale, a lot of times it's like you get some $5 or $6, you know. It's really not that difficult to find games on Steam for really cheap. That's why I like to sit there and play new games I've never played, and sit there and talk about like the Steam sales. But then I discovered Moist sort of does like a bad games night, where he does pretty much exactly that, and that's cool. Like I didn't even realize he was doing that. But yeah, so after I found out about that, I'm like, well, I don't want to sort of do the same thing he's doing. And I'm really not. Honestly, I feel like I was doing it a bit different, because he finds like really bad ones. I try to find good ones The funny thing is, well, I shouldn't say it's funny. It's not funny. He actually got hacked because one of the games was a scam. So like, you guys don't believe me about that stuff. That's a great way to get educated about that real quick. And I'm sure he got educated real quick. Yeah, it was just a scam game. It's funny to think about, but like like after the fact, but it sucks to be in that situation. So yeah, I decided to do an update with you guys while driving. I knew you guys like seeing, because I live in Amish country. So you guys like seeing the farms and stuff. Here we go. We'll face this forward. You guys want to see the farms a little bit. And, I just decided to get, do maybe a channel update with you guys. Like just talk. Yeah, 500. We need 500. 500. That one I can see. I can see that one on the, I changed it. Let's go. Let's go for 500. Yeah, I can't wait. We're gonna get to 500. We're gonna be able to do member streams and stuff and talk a bit more about that type of stuff. Yeah. And that's just it. Is like I said, even when I started defending the art a little bit in the comment, it was the sort of thing where. Have you guys ever seen this movie called Nobody? It has what's his name? It has the guy who played Better Call Saul. He played Saul Goodman. He played Saul Goodman. But it's from Breaking Bad. What's man, I feel bad. I had it and then I lost it. He's in it. The movie called Nobody. Basically, a lot of the martial arts that I do is really, really similar to that. Where it's not. We're not necessarily like just throwing a aimless strike at somebody's head. No, there's like a legitimate 30 techniques, each level for each thing that you're studying. And each technique is very precise, has a very precise attacking area. And not only that, but like a lot of times, yeah, like it's exactly like that. Oh, I'm gonna go this way. Where it's exactly like that, where like basically, in that movie, the guy's sort of looks very unassuming, you don't think he's gonna like just beat everybody up, and then all of a sudden he just breaks bad, right, pretty much, and then just gets on the bus, right, and just takes all these guys out that you thought were gonna give him a hard time, and he gets hit, and it's not like they were realistic about it, but he sort of looks bad at doing it. Picture that guy, but like if he looked good at what he was doing, if he was actually like a martial artist at what he was doing, that's sort of like that depiction of like it's for that. Like the first guy, it's the sort of thing where like a lot of times if I was actually attacked, Bob Odenkirk, thank you. You're gonna get an arm broken, or like just like. That's like one of the nicer things I could do, and it would be very quick, very simple. It's just real easy stuff, and it's kind of funny. Like, this is why I want to get into this, because a lot of the police that I would teach over the years, it was really disappointing to see their gun disarmaments. Very, very, very disappointing. And this is why I wanted to really started doing this, is because truthfully, I want to get it out there that there's better stuff than a lot of what these guys think, and I've seen some disarmaments over the years, gun, knife, things like that. It's more about the fact that I want people to know that they can protect themselves doing these various jobs or getting into it with various people they wouldn't normally. and that there's an option for them, that you know, like if they would find somebody, you know, and want to, you know, like let's say I start teaching again, you know, or something like that, where we can get like an actual location, you know, open. That would be fantastic. But it's like I used to teach these guys, and a lot of times they would come in and show me the way that they arrest somebody, or the way that, you know, they were taught to disarm a gun or a knife or something like that, and I'm just like, what? Like, it's so much easier than that. And then at the same time, they were taught by somebody that's not even a martial artist, so they don't know the simplest way of doing the bad technique they're doing. So already they're doing a technique that's just bad for what they're doing, but now they were also taught by somebody that's not really even doing it properly. So it's so disappointing when I see that. So like, I truthfully want to get back into, you know, like spreading quality martial arts and knowledge that the quality martial arts is out there. It's just that a lot of times people take the shortcut. You have a lot of guys that they're like dollar store martial arts instructors, you know. They didn't learn from somebody who was really kind of legit. They just joined the World Tung Sudo Association. Gosh, you know, I got news for you guys. Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but I was part of the World Tung Sudo Association when I was younger. Some of those guys are good. Some of them are good. You know, nobody questions that Chuck Norris was a good martial artist. Nobody questions that certain people were good martial artists. But I will tell you one thing. That martial arts is very easy. That's all I'm going to say. So if something is very, very easy, what do you expect to get out of that in life? I'm just throwing that out there. If something is easy, what do you get out of it? Much? I'm just throwing it out there. With Kung Fu, like there's just so many times where the Tung Sudo guy or the Taekwondo guy would come in, and he would have half of the puzzle. He would know about half the puzzle, but he wouldn't understand if he just got a little bit more flexible, and then at the same time, while getting flexible, understood that the kick that he was doing shouldn't be done by him because he's too big. Yeah, like just like, all right, so like just spreading knowledge that like certain techniques, yes, while you might learn them to learn how to defend against them, really aren't going to be something that you would use based on your body type, because you have to accept that there's going to be a certain bunch of techniques that while you might learn them, like I said, as the defense, you're never going to. So like, you got all these guys that are overweight trying to learn Tung Sudo. Doesn't Tung Sudo literally translate to like way of the foot or something like that? So like, you got all these guys that are learning Tung Sudo that are overweight. Meanwhile, when was the last time you saw a good kicker that was overweight? I'll wait. My point is, you can't kick properly if you're off balance with all this weight shifting around all over the place. So yeah, you will learn those kicks and you will get your flexibility up, but as long as you're overweight, you're not going to use that. So then my thing is, like, I will teach somebody how to use their weight properly, how to use Kung Fu to use their weight. Doesn't mean that I won't teach them how to do those kicks. It just, I might instruct them a little bit differently in their sparring on, you know, basically, you know, you want to focus more on maybe trapping, throws, things like that, getting in close, using your weight appropriately, centering your gravity. You know, basically a lot of times the big thing that I noticed with the short stocky guys is, you know, they get into the ring with a huge guy, and they just immediately, you know, they'll get hit. Not immediately, but like the point is, like, they'll get hit and they'll go down that first real power hit, right? The first real power hit, and then it's just like over after that. They might hang in there. It's just like sort of loosey-goosey. That's pretty much just done after that. The point is that they're sitting there, they're standing there trying to match speed for this power, and the problem that you have with that is that exactly that you're going to get that one hit and then go down. So all this guy has to do is be smarter than you. That's it. So basically, if the big guy is smarter than you, you're gonna. So like I see these squirrely guys that like, yeah, they got like really, really nice, they're really ripped and they can show off and stuff like that and MMA and blah blah blah. But then they get in a ring with a bigger guy and they have the slightest, because there's no skill there. All you did was pump a bunch of weights and learn how to punch. The big guy's actually planning strategy and standing there and waiting and timing his strike. So get better at that. Get better at knowing what to do about that. And so that's what I can teach a lot of these guys a lot of times is, you know, getting better at, you know, basically just learning how to use. That was awesome. Somebody had a Marine Corps license plate. Learning how to use, you know, your abilities in that moment, all the technique that you've learned to trick that big guy into thinking that he's got that one shot. Do you guys remember? Do you guys remember that spinning hammer I showed you in the short? Believe it or not, this is like the technique that I felt that I first got in on my instructor, the guy that taught me, and he was one of the big guys. He actually was one of those big guys. Now, he wasn't taller than me, but his freaking legs were like tree trunks. And he was only a couple inches shorter. So he's like 6'1" or something like that. This dude had the biggest legs you've ever seen. And he was just big. So, yeah, like his hands were quick. And he taught me everything I needed to know. Yeah, like this was my Sifu. And, you know, one of the first techniques I felt that I actually got in on him, where he didn't let me, you know, like where my skill was to that point, where I actually got it in and felt that way because of his exchange and his response to that. It was golden, by the way. I love him for that. But like, basically that was the point. As I was going through all this training, I started really understanding Dragon finally, and that's what it came down to. Finally, once I started exploring those animal styles and how to change levels and stuff like that and how the body moves, I started realizing how to actually set up that spinning hammer strike I showed you guys, and it just happened. I was setting him up the whole time. I even thought to myself when I got in, I'm not going to fall to this ridiculous raise the knee, hold the punch up thing. I'm not going to do it anymore. So basically the whole time that he was sparring me, I was egging him on. I was trying to get him to do it. And it was the sort of thing where, like, I think even he was realizing I was trying to get him to do that, but he wasn't doing it. And then I finally got him to do it. So that's the thing, is like, you have to use your techniques to get somebody to revert to some sort of muscle memory that they know. You have to study them and then get them to expose their weaknesses to you. It's all chess match. And so the funny thing is, like I said, this spinning hammer strike is actually one of the first things I felt like I legitimately got in on my Sifu, of all people, when I was learning and everything like that. So we were sparring, and the whole match I was trying to get him to do this punch. I'm like, man, he's really not doing it this time. So in order to get him to do it, basically what I started to do was I acted like I was gonna do a back leg sweep, you know, where you turn, you spin around, and we did a video for that too. It's a spinning back leg sweep. I was pretending like I was going to do that, or just some sort of spinning kick. And so But he knows that, like, I don't like to do those spinning hammers. He knows that I don't typically like to do those in front of somebody. So, like, I think that was what was throwing it off, was because I don't typically like to just spin right in front of somebody. So yeah, like, I kept doing it like I was gonna spin the other way. And then as soon as he got to that point, yeah, like, that was the point, was so I faked him a couple of times throughout the sparring match. And eventually what I did was I turned and made it seem like I was going to turn this way. And then all I did was cross step, and then pivot and spin immediately back the other way. He fell right into it. He fell right into it. It was the sort of thing where he lifted his fist and his knee, because that was the point. He thought I was going to spin to do the back leg sweep. So he was lifting his knee to lift the knee for the leg sweep, and he was going to hit me in the back of the head. He's going to put his leg down and just hit me in the back of the head. I spun the other way, literally he fell right into it. I hit him in the side of the head. He just, boom. I thumped him so hard, I saw him rocking back a little bit. He was like, nice. Immediately, he was like, nice. That's what I've been waiting for. He said it, and it was the sort of thing where it's like, that was the end of the sparring match. He was happy with that. I think I rung his bell a little bit, and it was probably one of the first times that ever happened. And, like, that was just it. It was like, I think he, you know, even as a martial arts instructor, hadn't felt like I had even really hit him that hard yet. And then I finally did, and finally got that in on him. One of those techniques too, like, just the fact that I could get a spinning hammer on him, of all people, too. That's not an easy technique to pull off. So that's really what it came down to, was just the fact that I was able to do that, set it up, and so accurately execute it. I think that was honestly one of his decision factors in the advanced, because he had given me a certificate shortly after for the, if you guys, I showed you guys those certificates. I have the advanced self-defense, so he gave me a certificate for that, and I think that went a lot in you know, to his decision behind that. So yeah, it's cool to talk about that stuff and you know, remember about it. But that's the whole point, guys. Is I want to be able to actually spread the knowledge that there is good martial arts out there, because even the guys that came in and learned this, that's the point, is like, they go around and they try to look for anything that's even remotely close to what I taught, and so many of them come back and say, please, when are you going to teach again? You know, like, because they just can't find it. Some of them, yeah, I think they have sort of found something that, like, they can kind of get into, and it's nice, you know, like, for now. But, you know, they still tell me, you know, it really still doesn't compare, you know, to our old school, you know, forms and techniques and training style and stuff. So that's the point, guys, is I really wanted to, you know, be that, you know, content creator where we're just, we're making good martial arts content and spreading the knowledge that it is out there. That you can, if you are smart enough, extrapolate the correct things from various martial arts. You know, it's just like the rest of history. You know, like just the rest of history in general. Yeah, like you're fed some nonsense once in a while. Everybody knows that. We're all fed some nonsense about history once in a while. But then you can extrapolate the reality from the nonsense here and there. That's the same thing with martial arts. These guys often knew that the Chinese martial artists were the best at technique because they've been doing it for so long. And so, like, they were, like we saw in Ip Man, you know, they were forcing the Chinese, the Japanese were forcing the Chinese basically at gunpoint a lot of times. And so the Chinese would just pretend. Yeah, they're not going to show them everything. So they'll show them how to do it so they injure themselves doing it, basically. And that's how they showed them. But they gave them enough to make them think that's how it was supposed to be. So that's why a lot of those guys, they slam the joints out when they throw a punch. They'll lock the joints out. and stuff like that. It was intentional to make them think that's what they were supposed to do. And for some reason, they've still carried this, like, any doctor will even tell you that that's really bad. It's just, it doesn't even make any sense to do it that way. No, you don't ever do that. It was like, the one time I had heard some myth from, like, somebody I respected, actually, and I didn't really trust what he said after that, but basically, from one of the higher-ups that I was talking to in the system way back that I still had contact with was telling me, basically that some of those guys were starting to do, like, the whole negative stretch thing. Static stretching is what you call it, where basically you do extend the joint all the way out and sort of pop it back and then do it again and pop it back. And then some of those guys, because of their strength, they could handle it, and what they were doing was they were internally strengthening their tendons. I really don't think that's wise. And the thing is, even when I said it the one time, one of my students, he's a doctor, he was like, I'm just gonna tell you, like, no disrespect, but don't ever put, because he wasn't telling me, he was just telling for the knowledge. Don't ever, fully extend or lock your joints when you're doing any stretch whatsoever. And just, he said, just, I'm a doctor, just from that standpoint, it's not good for you. And, yeah, for sure, he was right. Like, that's the point, is you don't ever really want to do that. So why are you doing it with your strengths? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. You always keep, like, when you're stretching and stuff like that, that's why a lot of people don't understand how flexibility works, too. They think they're supposed to, like, stretch with their legs, their knees locked and stuff. Like, no. This is why a lot of karate places have, like, kids and stuff that, like, get injuries so easily and stuff like that, because they're teaching them to stretch improperly. You ever noticed how throughout the years, it just seems like they're shorter, I often think that throughout evolution, they were messing up their growth plates. Basically, they were doing such hard martial arts and stretching their legs way past the point they should have been, that this just slowly but surely affected the growth plates and the congenital DNA that would be passed on that says that you're this height. So basically, they were training their DNA to evolve shorter. I truthfully believe that's what happened to a lot of the, the Asian martial arts over the years, why they got shorter with that stuff, because they were just doing a lot of the stretches improperly or going too hard on a lot of that stuff. I truthfully believe that. But anyway, this has been a great talk, guys. I'm gonna pull in here. I gotta end this. We're gonna pull in here and end it. I'm gonna check with chat a little bit. I'm gonna scroll through chat a little bit before we end it. See what we had to say. But I will be making martial arts content. Like, it's gonna happen, and I will be honoring that appropriately. Don't you worry, guys. It really bothers me, like I know you guys know I'm hard on myself. Like, I'm overly critical of myself. You guys probably realize that by now, but at the same time, I'm a certain way with my martial arts. Like, I want to do right by it. I respect it fully, is what I should say. Like, it's the sort of thing, when I say that I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. So just, it's the sort of thing where I have to make sure it's done right. And that's where I'm at. Where, I want to look right. I want it to be done right. I honestly, like, even just the fact that I didn't have the uniform that I normally do. Like, I want a very specific, like, I want people to get used to looking at me and seeing me a certain way. I want the uniform to look a certain way. The fact that I didn't have my normal uniform top in those last videos was bothering me too. Just because I knew that's what people expect. So, you know, it's the sort of thing where I want to be doing that so that way we can get into the habit of, you know, giving people the sort of thing that they would expect to see. And like I said, you know, like that's because I'm training all the time. The more I use my own uniform tops and stuff like that, and do things like that, and I'm training all the time, the more that's probably gonna change too. Like I'm gonna try to keep that one clean, but I was out training and it was raining and it got like blue stuff from the mats and all that on it. So yeah, I mean I was doing shoulder rolls and all kinds of stuff. So I mean, when you guys see martial arts, you don't. I'm sure people think, you know, oh, you're just, you know, standing there and punching and kicking. It's like, it's not like that at all. That's my point, is like, if you know what martial arts truly is, it's not anything specific. It's adapting. It's strategy. Yes, there are technique. There's specifics to what you're doing with your hands and your feet and your body. But the way you react to the situation shouldn't be. And that's the problem. That's like the biggest issue that people have, is they can't adapt, you know, what they know about martial arts to any situation. And that's what I love to do. I love that, you know, that's why I was doing those shadow boxing videos and stuff. Like, I love talking about that type of stuff too. I love breaking down martial arts movies that are realistic, and I love breaking down ones that aren't, because there's a lot of those. Kill Bill is one of those. Maybe one day we'll talk about the Kill Bill fight scene. I had a huge problem with the fact that she with one katana fought off masters, like just a room full of master martial artists that are literally using weapons that are intended to disarm you with a sword. I had a problem with that. But I digress. They could have done that differently, and that's my point, is like, I want to spread good martial arts. But anyway, I have a day planned. I have some stuff I have to get to. I really appreciate everybody coming in here. I was going to look at chat a little bit. Be back later. Got to do some good talk, bro. Thank you, Suffice. I'm sorry that I didn't see your message, buddy. A calm body in a fight is faster. Yeah, absolutely. That's my point, is like, you see these guys like tensing their huge muscles, and it's like, they're not very fast then, probably. They don't know speed. And that's just it, is like, I was always speed. That's what those big guys couldn't match for me, is I was always speed, because I had that relaxed tension. I was always more relaxed than the last guy. And yeah, for sure, man. That is so much of it. Yeah. Yeah, not seizing up and remaining calm. The funny thing is, my training is exactly for that. You know, it's kind of amusing. Like, I'm sure that, like, normally this would like, you know, because I have a friend that likes to do this too. He like yells things out like, I'll be driving past somebody just walking along the road, and he'll roll the window down and be like, hey, you know. I think we used to do it a lot when we were younger, but like, he still does it. And so yeah, like, we see the people jump once in a while. Actually, most of the time they jump. That's the thing. So like, that's the point, is like, most of the time that would affect somebody's just minding their own business, jump. Just not even, was it a month ago? I was walking to get my car. Yeah, I had to walk to pick up my car from the inspection. And no lie, somebody drove past me and just, like, out of nowhere, just, you know, just, like, screamed at me. I had literally zero reaction. Yeah, it was actually kind of, I was actually impressed with myself, because that was what I always taught myself, is, like, if you're going to deal with those situations, You know, if you are surprised by something, there can be literally zero reaction, because then that way you're focused on what's happening. And that's actually something that it took me a while, but yeah, like that's Tai Chi. That's actually what it does for you. Yeah, that's actually the one thing that I wish I knew when I was like going through like a lot of the training when I was younger, when I was like my early 20s. I wish I would have realized that. Because the flinching thing where you have to flinch, where your eyes close, like from getting hit and stuff like that, that actually would have helped with that. Yeah, if I had known that a lot sooner. But, you know, I mean, eventually you got to go through that and deal with that. That's a tough training. But yeah, for sure. I mean, it's all about being able to not react to the surprise, to the setup, to whatever they're trying to do, but you know, but react to the attack, you know, instead, you know. And yeah, the muscle memory, if you are properly trained, the muscle memory will just it will kick you, and it always has for me. And that's really what I think it comes down to, is being able to remain calm, because even when I'm in that situation and dealing with it, there's an adrenaline rush too, and then you would have to you know, you would have to basically deal with the fact that you're going to be sort of jello. There's training for that too. You know, we went through that. And you know, we can talk about those drills, we can talk about those things we do, but I'm not going to do that now. Like I said, that's the member stream stuff, you know, that's the stuff. Well, I'm not going to teach somebody how to be a martial arts instructor. It's not going to happen. You know, if you want to learn martial arts from me and then you decide to do it, fine. But, you know, like, it's not going to be some sort of thing I put online that could be because that's what I get concerned about, is I'm not going to be uploading some crash course to being a martial arts instructor. Absolutely not. And you can't do that. Don't ever do that. Anybody out there that has the knowledge, don't do that. Just, it's not very respectful either. You're not doing anybody any justice by doing that. People that get inspired by martial arts videos and want to learn from them offline to, you know, like then go to like a controlled environment, to a class or something, and then like get little tidbits from me here and there. That's what I love. Yeah, I'd love that. That's what I would love to see. I'd love to see, to motivate people, you know, to do this stuff. What I don't want to see is people, you know, suddenly, you know, wow, I'd be a martial arts instructor, I'll just learn all this. No, it's not how it works. You know, you want to be an instructor, you got to learn from me in person. You got to actually take the classes, and then we would actually have, you know, instructor classes and stuff too. Like, it's different. There's different stuff that you need to learn to be an instructor, and I'm not giving you that knowledge on the internet either. So the only little tidbits I gave you guys would be just that everybody does learn different, and that every technique should be learned differently, and the instructor should have the knowledge to be able to show a large opponent, somebody even bigger than him, how to do this technique on even somebody larger than him. And then also reverse it around, show a little guy how to, because, you know, it means nothing if the little old lady down the street can't come in and learn self-defense. It means nothing if the little old lady down the street can't come in and learn self-defense. And that's what you need to remember. And so that's the point, is like that's where the real test of knowledge comes into play. You know, can you reverse it, you know, for the person, the little person, and to the big person. And, you know, that's where a lot of our techniques came into play. Is like, you know, just when I learned the animal styles, it became very obvious to me how to do those things, just through learning, you know, the Kung Fu animal styles. Because truthfully, the traditional animal styles, that's everything. And that's where a lot of those other systems, they just don't even have. You know, like even let alone grappling at all, but Chinese animal boxing styles that then can use the whole grappling concepts and stuff too. That's that's the big one. Understanding how the leverage of a large attacker would work on somebody smaller, and then how to reverse that to them. It's actually very easy. Not easy though for somebody that doesn't understand it and has never done it. So, let me end there. Appreciate all of you again. And more martial arts videos are to come. More Hogwarts Legacy is to come. Did you all enjoy that? I enjoyed playing it. I can't wait. It's so much fun. We're going to do some uploads for... we're going to do uploads for Blizzard, I think. Because I am communicating with them. But I think at this point, we're going to do uploads with that stuff. Because it's just the sort of thing where I'm just getting tired of having to complain about something on the internet and look on a certain way. That's why I'm going to get away from using XSplit, I think. I think we're going to go to OBS soon. We'll have to experiment with that. I can't even start a stream half the time. So, they've had ample time to fix this stuff. Let's see. Check out 365 streams. He's been really supporting the channel a lot, guys. Seriously, I've been checking him out. I've been watching him, but he's been supporting the channel a lot. So definitely check out his streams. We got to show 365 some support. I mean, what's not to love? Yeah, his streams are always so positive, and he works at that salon. It's awesome. I love watching him skateboarding around and stuff. So cool. So anyway, definitely support him. Definitely good content. And I appreciate you too, Suffice. Looks like you got some work cut out for you. Hopefully you can figure that bug out for Red Dead and all that. But definitely if you're looking for bug fixes and content from Red Dead and stuff like that, Suffice likes to do that. Suffice to say was in chat earlier. Check his stuff out too, because it's really funny sometimes. I was watching that one video and he was just sitting there shooting a car for science. Good stuff. Yeah, so anyway, guys, gotta get off here. Take care, everybody. Appreciate all the support. I'll see y'all next time. Take care.